What happens when you put a group of young, conventionally attractive strangers in a villa, take away their phones, and tell them to fall in love on camera? Well, we're talking today about Love Island. You guessed it, a show that calls themselves a dating competition, but may actually be a psychological experiment in attachment styles, manipulation, and the human need for attention. We're putting Love Island on the couch today on Off the Couch. And welcome to Off the Couch with Dr. Greg, because growth doesn't happen lying down. I'm Dr. Greg Case on Psychologist, here with producer Brian Gomez.
Happy Tuesday, you guys.
Today, Brian did a yeoman's job setting up for the show, so thank you, Brian. I think it's been a tough one. And I did a yeoman's job by watching Love Island USA Season 7. Brian, I called you and I said to you, I'm watching Love Island USA. And what was my comment right after I said that?
About how many episodes there were?
No, no. I wasn't lamenting that quite yet.
About how brainless it was?
Yes. Well, I said that my brain hurts.
Oh, yeah. It's like brain rot. It's like nothing, like there's no brain cells really activating when you're watching it, I would say.
So basically, Love Island is bikinis and breakups. And we're going to try to look at attachment styles, emotional manipulation, good old fashioned trauma bonding. We'll try to look at some of those things. But I really came up with a different thesis during this show. Let's just talk about Love Island. Love Island's basically hot people trapped in a villa pretending to look for love while actually competing for Instagram followers and a $100,000 cash prize. Cameras catch every flirty glance, awkward kiss, and emotional breakdown as they swap partners like a middle school dance. And it's part dating show, part reality TV soap opera, part social experiment. And if the experiment was what happens when you remove books, phones, and critical thinking for 6 weeks. Actually, I did think it was a lot like a certain social experiment that I participated in at UCLA, because there's a model that's taught worldwide out of England called Tavistock. And in Tavistock, you meet together for a week or a predetermined amount of time, and you go through all of these. You just come in as an individual, and they give you tasks, and the tasks are to get into groups, pods and then to move through the organization in certain ways, and how the groups form and how people come together, how people kick other people out. It all followed this model. So this is not a new model in many ways, except the Tavistock is built around psychological growth, and this is built around drama for rating. So it was a little bit different how they handle things here at the Love Island Villa. And in my particular thing, no one fell in love. But I can give some insight. Both, the other weird thing is I was on a reality TV show on Bravo, and this was not Bravo, this is Peacock, but it really was run. These were all the Bravo people running. I saw their signatures everywhere on this show. So we're going to talk about that. But having participated in something like that, a reality show, as well as the Tavistock thing, I think I got some good insights about what was going on Love Island, at least for those people. So before we begin with Love Island, I'm going to ask Brian my 5 questions. Are you secretly obsessed with Love Island? Because the reason we're even doing this show, why are we doing this show, Brian?
Because I told you everybody is hooked on it.
That wasn't quite why we did this show.
I'm pretty sure because, it's...
Because you're hooked on it.
I'm not hooked on it. I'm watching it because everybody's watching it. And if I don't watch it, then it's like, I'm like, literally at the dog park, everywhere I go, it's like that conversations are about Love Island.
You came to me with outrage at the beginning about certain characters and about what was going on. So I basically had to watch it to understand what you were talking about.
Because it's what everybody in America is watching and talking about. Like, it's crazy how it took off. I don't think, I didn't watch, this is the only season I've ever watched of this show.
Yeah.
And I don't think even last season's was as popular and trending as this one was. Like, I don't even remember there being a Love Island before this season.
No, I remember it because I used to always see it on my Peacock app, but I zoomed right past that one. I'm just not into watching reality shows, believe it or not.
I mean, even at my gym, outside the gym where your haircut place, there's a huge billboard of Love Island right there.
Oh, I'll have to look. So I've never noticed. So, Brian, I'm going to give you a quiz, 5-question quiz. Yes or no? Are you secretly obsessed with Love Island? Okay. Don't look at the questions.
No, I'm like
You're gonna
thinking, I'm like secretly obsessed with not being out of the loop.
answer as truthful as possible. I want you to answer truthfully. Do you care more about the Islanders' relationships than your own friends' love lives? Would you rather watch those than your own friends' love lives?
Well, my friends' love lives aren't as exciting right now. Or some of them, they're,
So that's a yes.
oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, yes.
Have you ever judged a real life couple by thinking something like they're giving major Casa Amor vibes, or they're like, so and so and so and so? They're like Brian and Amaya.
No, but there's a lot of terminology from the show that everybody's now using.
Huda and Chris. Yeah.
Oh, we do. Yeah, okay. We have been calling people who there is. Okay.
Hey, Huda and Chris. Do you get anxious waiting for the next recoupling, even though you know it's fake drama?
No, I do have a
Oh,
pet
man.
peeve that like they don't move fast enough. They like drag on a little.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, it dragged on too much.
Have you defended an Islander's bad behavior like they were your actual friend? Have you gone, well, I think, and defended their behavior?
No, not their bad behavior. If anything, I've defended the good behavior.
Have you thought I could win Love Island while sitting alone in sweatpants?
Honestly, I thought about it and I don't think
Okay,
I could.
so that's 3.
I didn't say I thought I could win. I thought about if I could play.
Brian, you're flirting with obsession. Proceed to binge responsibly. So you're right there on the cusp. But let's go over the scoring. If you got 4 or 5, you are certifiably obsessed with Love Island. You need an intervention or a casting call, which I'm sure they're doing. Go to any casting website. All they're probably looking for is hot people with minimal IQs. I mean, I don't know. What?
I do have a big.
Did I say that?
Oh no.
We'll
But
talk about why.
the guys were just like not really that hot at all on this show. Honestly,
A couple of them were handsome.
like handsome, like man.
Who's that first guy that got kicked off? Jermaine?
Jeremiah?
Jeremiah? Yeah.
The one that was with Huda.
Yeah, he was actually a good looking guy.
Yeah, good looking, but there's none that are like, oh my god, he's so hot. Where compared to the girls, they were all stunning, beautiful girls.
Yes. Once you cut through the Botox on a lot of them, there were some really good ones. Okay, so number 2, you're flirting with obsession. Proceed to binge responsibly. That's you. And if you only 0 to 1, if that's a 2 to 3 answer, you're flirting with obsession. So if you got only 2 or 3, you're in the middle. Binge responsibly. But if you're 0 to 1, you only answered one of those. You're safe for now. But watch one more episode and that could change. If you watch after the villa or beyond the villa, oh my god, yeah, you're probably lost. So why we watch Love Island? Why do we watch reality shows, Brian?
I was trying to figure that one out because I understand how like dumb and like there's really no thought process behind it, But it's like I was trying to figure out why it took the nation like a storm pretty much with that. And there were so many episodes. I mean, how many did you try to cram into 1 or 2 days?
A million billion. I mean, it was hard for me. Literally, my brain did hurt while I was watching it. I did not enjoy it. And so I will say I'm coming at this from such a different angle. One, because I know how this is done. And I couldn't help but think of there's a cameraman, there's this, there's that, there's this, there's this going on. Oh, that's a bad edit. I actually thought things like that during this show, which kept me from getting involved in it. And that wasn't very nice. But then I was curious. They did some things impeccably well on this show. I thought it played like a music video. The first episode was like a big, long music video that just beautifully was put together. The first hour was already pre-cut. I mean, it was a beautiful first episode. I'm like, okay, this is good. Their costumes, their outfits, they were all matched and they got lots of colors. The set was all super high color. They were in Fiji,
Beautiful.
beautiful surroundings. Everything was just visually stunning and audibly stunning, like the music, constant music underlay of popular songs.
Oh yeah, they did a lot of
I
popular
mean,
songs.
they spent $1.50 on this.
Yes, but did you hear some of them are just covers. They're not like the actual song that they're using. So they don't have to actually get.
They still did a good job. I will say they did an excellent job. I was like, hats off to Love Island Cruise. This is the 7th episode, and it started in England. So the reality shows that come out of England are always a cut above. They just know how to do redundant.
And the girls' outfits were perfection every single day. That's what I kept thinking. I'm like, did they pack this? Did they have a stylist? Because you mean you see they have.
Whose outfit was the best?
I don't know if there's
I
the
thought
best.
Ada won.
Huda,
She had some interesting outfits.
she did, but I also look at like just overall, like the one that Alondria. I thought she was stunning.
Alondria was just stunning.
Like
so she
every
physical beauty.
yeah.
So I mean, what do you say? She just was what it was.
I feel like she knew how to present herself the entire time.
She did, and she actually knew how to present herself because I actually thought she was one of the original girls. The other original girl was
Huda.
Yeah, Huda, and there was a tall girl, but the original, the first was there. I'll think of her name. It's Shelley
Shelly, I've heard.
with the CA. She, I thought, was visually quite beautiful, but she came off with a different energy. She didn't come off with runway model energy. It was more like Girl Next Door. She was the Marianne, and Alondria was the Ginger.
Yeah.
If you know that reference. So anyway, and God, and Ariana, the Maddox, yes, you don't know this reference, but she looked like Jerry Reichel. Jerry Reichel, just so you know, was the fake Jan, the new Jan Brady, when Eve Plum wouldn't participate in the Brady Bunch Variety Hour, and Jerry Reichel came out as the new Jan Brady, and it took America by storm. They were so upset that suddenly we have this pretty, very talented Jan Brady. We wanted our old dowdy Jan. And that's what Ariana Maddox gave total Jerry Reichel or new Jan Brady vibes. I'm like, she's pretty in that wholesome way. And it just made me go, I don't know what to make of her because she's new Jan Brady. I always kind of felt bad for Jan Brady, new Jan Brady, and old Jan Brady.
I think people really like her from like her story of like whatever reality TV show she was on before, which
she was on Vanderpump.
Yeah,
she was on Vanderpump Rules. I think she came later. I don't remember if she was in the original cast though. Okay, so why do we watch? Let's go through why people watch reality shows. Social comparison is number one. Why we root, envy, cringe. We love to compare. Parasocial relationships. This is the one I heard the most, is people feel like they're your friend. They would watch it and they feel attached to you. They feel like they know your story. They identify with you. They feel like they're your friend.
You connect with it. You know what the characters are. I get that makes sense because everybody has their favorites and who they're rooting for.
Yeah. And I always love that the most. Like people would approach me and say, oh, I really, this meant so much to me. And I was like,
you like watching sports almost?
Like maybe watching sports, but no, it was like they knew something about my story and they were like, oh, I really identified. Also voyeurism and safe emotional escapism. Also reality TV as a modern version of the Colosseum. Do you know what I mean by the Colosseum? Yeah, the Roman Colosseum, the opiate for the masses, the things that they would throw just to put conflict in front of people.
Entertainment.
50,000 people would all be sitting there cheering somebody getting eaten by yeah. And that's what we have now. It's on NBC. So let's talk about some of the attachment styles because we're going to I want to kind of hint at those. Remember, there are 4 basic attachment styles, really 3. I mean, there are 4, but it's a little bit mixed. There's secure attachment, number 1. Which is, everything's good. We're like 2 pillars standing together. There's avoidant, which is one moving away, and the other one going, hey, I want to be with you. There's the anxious attachment style, which is really like one pushing into the other person. And there's the fearful avoidant. That's the disorganized attachment style. That's the push me pull you relationship.
So you think that was Gouda and Jeremiah?
Oh my! I want to talk about Huda and Jeremiah. Let's talk about Huda. I think was clocked very accurately at one point in the show. I think it went over everyone's head, but I was like, bingo, that is it. Um, okay, let's talk about. So that's basically it. So Brian, who do you think is clingy on the show? Who's the anxious attachment person? Who's clingy?
Oh, Huda for sure. You don't think so?
I don't. Who's the anxious? I thought June Mile is. He's anxious. I think Huda's avoidant.
Really? And I thought it was the other way around.
No. Who's the anxious attachment? Who's the anxious attachment with Huda and Chris? Oh, you don't know these characters. I'm sorry. There's no way to explain Huda except for that probably from the top of her hairline down to her top lip, it's all Botox, so nothing moves. She has inflated lips. What do they call them? Like the collagen lips. She has,
Most of them do that.
but yeah, most of them do, yeah. But she's just one of them. It's part of the look. She's a super long fake eyelashes. So when she talks, it's often like puppet, like a marionette. Yeah, I know. Isn't that bad?
Well, they're just flexible. I know, but like I'm just realizing like how you're talking about her appearance, and I'm wondering how many other people are talking about her appearance. And how much that, like, damn. Because then you see people get off the shows and they change, they lose weight, they do all these things because they get so much backlash or
Dude,
critique.
I could totally get backlash and critique from what I just said, and probably rightfully so. But the fact was, when it's on TV, it's distracting.
Yeah.
And I was distracted by it. And I understood she wants to look her best. And she kept saying over and over she was 24. And I'm like, I don't know about it. I mean, maybe, but the Botox made her look older because that look is generally on an older woman, not on a 24-year-old.
Well, usually, but now the times are changing.
That's true. You talked about
That was my big thing that I was always like looking at how the girls had to maintain themselves and suck it in, and no role or anything could be wrong because they get critiqued the most. You don't see anybody online talking shit about how sloppy the guys were, how they didn't have to wear any shoes, if anything. The girls had to stay in heels the entire time. I feel like there was like a few moments where you see them wear sandals or something, but it's rare, you know?
They played up the sexual elements of this show so hotly, but yet the contestants themselves never felt porny to me.
Yeah.
And so it was a weird juxtaposition to watch these people dressed so provocatively, sometimes in see-through outfits.
Yeah.
There was one part I'm like, was that just a nip slip that I saw? That they
I wouldn't doubt it.
and yet I'm like, I couldn't believe it, but it's on streaming, so I guess it's okay. But it was kind of shocking to see this on TV, and yet you didn't feel like it was a sexual show.
At all. Even though they were doing sexual like challenges,
It just never had
they
that.
always made out during challenges.
They continually made out. It never had that. They slept in the same beds, with each other. They
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff to be sexual, and it never had that vibe. I never got there.
Because you even saw that they hook up throughout the show while they're like asleep in bed or like in another room or anything, but you still don't. I guess that's a good thing because it would suck for the girls to get off the show and then also get backlash for that, for them seeming like sluts or something like that.
So who do you think was the most secure attachment? It's a hard question for a reason. I'm going to give you this out and say, don't worry about it.
Because I thought it was Shelly and Ace. There's like, they have some secureness there, but
They had a genuine attraction.
yeah.
And that was proven. Shelly and Ace are two characters that met in a bar. Like they were two of the original characters. When they walked up and saw each other at the very first episode, they said, hey, You again? We met at a bar in New York, even though they were from two different places. They met at a bar in New York.
And there was speculation that they maybe had been dating before the show and that they were just like, oh, we're going to go on the show like this and try to like win this show, you know? There was speculation. There was always little
Little
like,
conspiracy theory in the Love Island world.
they knew each other before. So like, you know, even when the parents came to like visit them, I wanted to be like, oh, I hope like his siblings are like, hey, shut like they knew part you
So let's
they
get
did it.
Brian, we forgot to give the concept of the show. So basically, these are people that come, they're all singles. They come to this island to be in a relationship. You said that they're 50, they're how many editors?
I think
30?
there's 30 editors
30,
and 20 producers.
20 producers, 30 editors. Let me just say that the editors do the yeomans, they do the massive heavy lifting on a reality show. They're the ones that basically craft the show. So what the editors do is everything. Now the producers probably would disagree with me on that because the producers are the ones who orchestrate the show. They're the orchestra leader. The editors are the musical instruments that are producing sound. But I don't know. I just have respect for the editors. I think they can make or break everything. The producers, they're up there, orchestrating. 30 or 20 producers on this, it's a massive amount. But so they had people standing over the editors going, do this, do that. Different editors do different things. And they have editors on the ground in Fiji saying, do this, do this. And they're setting things up, getting things together. Everything you saw on the show was just perfect all the time. Believe me, there was such a crew behind the scenes constantly doing things. Plus, did you notice that the lighting was beautiful at night? Perfect.
Oh yeah.
In the daytime, it could be a little muddied, but at night, lighting was perfection. Do you know how bright those lights must have been? So, anyway, they knew cameras were pointed at them all the time. They knew there was an audience of people, producers, and other things watching from the other side. They were also told that America was watching at the same time because the show edited how later? How much later?
I think it has like a day or two turnaround time of each episode.
A day or two, and then it went on TV. So it was put quickly edited together, then put on TV. And that's why they had so many long pauses and this and that. I mean, they just didn't have a lot to fill it with, but they put music and they had lots of colors to look at, lots of red, greens, yellows, bright neon signs.
And that's something to like keep you engaged, right?
I agree. It was actually, I thought, quite brilliant. So let's talk about, I just want to touch on the love bombing thing because they kept talking about it on the show. Love bombing, love bombing. They said all the words. Oh my God, how many times did they say main character syndrome? We did a show on main character syndrome last week. And they said main character syndrome, main character energy, main character this. Maybe it's because I had done that show. I was like, oh, here's this word I've never heard of.
Well, yeah, and I told you like it's been such a common word that in our generation it's like, yeah, very main character.
Just for you guys, it's basically main character syndrome is, or it's when you put yourself in your own story. You're like the main character in your drama. You're kind of orchestrating your own life, right? And you'll see yourself as the lead, as the star in a movie.
Did you think there was a main character?
No,
No, right?
I did. I mean, her.
But I think maybe she just got more camera time because there were more things happening with her.
So she was kind of the Teresa from New Jersey Housewives. She was kind of this. I wouldn't say she was bad, but just to kind of jump really forward with Huda is that her second guy was that Chris, who I thought was a nice guy, but I saw him, I felt for him, poor guy.
For him dealing with Huda?
I felt for him as a human being because you could see this is a sweet guy who's
Being tested.
who's got some damage.
Oh, damage.
Well, no, I don't even say that. I meant to say it like he's had a tough go in the back, and I think he had a tough go as a child.
Okay, I admit.
I think he had a tough go as a child, and he's incredibly sensitive, and he's looking to correct some stuff. And it all came to a point when he said to Huda, they're together for the first time or one of the first times. I mean, God, it's hard to know on this show. And he says, I'm usually attracted to emotionally, damaged women or emotionally, I'm not landing on the right word. It's like out of control women. God, I can't remember what exactly.
Very emotional.
No, like there's a lot of emotional volatility and there's a lot of probably emotional reasoning if he's dealing with women. He likes women who are more high drawn. And he goes, I don't see that in you with her at that moment. And I'm like, oh, he does. His radar picked that up because I see him as clingy and he wants someone and she acts aloof and cool to be avoidant, but I think in general, she didn't want a relationship. She had a kid at home. She goes into that show 6 weeks, probably 2 months. They're probably there 2 months.
So then what was all
And
the
left a
crazy
kid at
for?
home. And left a kid at home.
I know then, but what was all the crazy?
She wanted to win or she wanted to get famous. I don't think she was disabused of those things because she had a kid at home.
No, but I'm like saying like she she fell in love with that guy Jeremiah instantly and was like acting crazy. But you don't think
He
she
went in on her. He love bombed her.
well, yeah.
I think that was
And she went along with it and became kind of crazy. Even you saw it when the love got seduced because he got seduced. But you don't think she would kind of lose her shit a little when love bombs would come in and like they'd be interested in Jeremiah? She'd instantly hate the girl. I mean, she'd be like, "What the fuck? Like, why is she kissing her?" And it's like that's part of the whole.
let me say this in a more clinical way. When a narcissist who tends to love bomb meets up with someone with borderline personality who has emotional volatility as part of their emotional makeup, there's usually sparks. And the narcissist love bombing feeds into the insecurity of the person who has borderline personality, and that the person with borderline personality is constantly afraid of abandonment. And so they think, oh my God, here's the person that will never leave me. So they become attached. The narcissist then, as they do, get bored and moves on a little bit, pulls back, suddenly becomes a little bit more detached. And then the person with the more emotional volatility goes, hey, wait, because they're hooked, but also that they're being tested themselves because inside they believe that they're being abandoned. Even if they're just like the guy's going off into the, God knows, the steam room or the this with somebody else or the love hutch. I can't remember all the terms for all these things. I'm going to soul ties. I'm like, soul ties, what's that? It's where you sit and talk. It's like I couldn't keep track of all the rude places that they were in.
That's a cool way you like laid it out because I don't know if people would have thought he was like a narcissist or anything like that. Because you do see the love bombing.
I think he was a nice narcissist. I mean, I think there were no extremes on this show. Yeah. I wouldn't have clocked any of these people as someone who was extreme. In fact, I thought, based on the way that they were presented to me, like on TV, and that's really the only way because we don't know what they're really about. Based on the way they were presented, they really did seem like a group of fairly okay people, probably, fairly nice, stable people who maybe had their own challenges, but were there to play a game.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I didn't have negative opinions toward anyone, honestly. Ace, I did a little bit because I thought Ace was a little smarmy, but what do you mean? Well, I mean, he was a little bit sleaze factor, a little bit, flirting with everyone, and all this. Actually, the best joke was about Ace.
Got his height?
Yeah. Oh, wasn't that terrible? Do you remember this joke?
No, well, I just like it was a whole thing, and like when it happened, where everybody saw how short he was, there was like a video where the guys are sitting on the couch around the fire pit, and his feet are like just dangling off the couch compared to the rest.
Bad for him, but for that because he had a lot of insecurity about that. That came out several times, but they actually said on the show, the announcer said, "What is Ace short for?" And then the announcer goes, "Well, Ace said it's because both of his parents are 5'7".
Oh wow, damn.
when they asked what ACE was short for. Anyway, here nor there. I thought it was a really off-colored joke. But he kept asserting that he was 5'10", and I'm like, I see it possible. Yeah. So I mean, it's funny how people kept putting out the narrative that they wanted to be heard by America.
Oh,
Like I'm 24, I'm 5'10", and it kind of made me feel bad. And I thought this is kind of the difficulty of reality TV. There was a woman on New Jersey Housewives who told me something that I always thought was really helpful. And she said, basically, you better be honest because they'll clock you. But she said that to a certain extent. And I'm like, oh, that's scary. She goes, yeah, she goes, the audience figures it out.
yeah. That's the thing. And then just putting your life out there. I mean, the internet, the people can always find anything you do wrong too.
They can always find everything. But I didn't dislike Ace. I liked him. I liked him, and I liked Shelley, and I would like them to be a couple. But these are, their avatars. I don't know what they're really like in real life. But they were portrayed nice enough to me, even though America didn't love them as much. And I'm like, and they were so surprised by that. And I'm like, Shelley and Ace, it's the edits. It's not you. That the house thinks they're great people because they probably are to all the people in the house. But the way the editors and producers cast them and put their story together made them look worse than they were.
Well, I know Ace was paired with Amaya for a minute, and they hated each other. I don't know if you got to see that.
Yeah, because they're both very emotional people, and she's a very needy emotional person. She needs someone who's very stable, and he, I think, is really seeking. I think Shelley is a very stable.
Oh, grounded.
Well,
she seemed grounded for sure.
And probably that's why he has that attraction toward her. I'm sorry, I'm talking about them as if they're real. But I think that's the problem with reality TV. Parts of them are real, parts of them aren't. And you've got to understand that. They've got to understand that.
Yeah.
I used to do interviews for reality TV for people going on shows. This is before I was on there. And I would interview people and, for the companies, for the networks and whatnot. And NBC, by the way, had the toughest one of all. So if you pass NBC's, which is this Peacock, you've passed the toughest psych exam. That's probably why they get fairly normal people on their Shaz. They want someone who's tough. So I don't know how Housewives works because sometimes I'm curious about that. But Housewives is mostly people who can play the game. Yeah, they can play at being bad. Anyway, okay, yeah, audiences confuse intensity with real intimacy. The other thing I wanted to say about this show, there's a thing that happens when you're in the intensity of doing a reality show. You have all these people staring at you, all the lights, you have costumes. Well, I didn't wear any costumes that I didn't provide. I got them, but they approved every piece of clothes. And that may have happened here, but, they're all leaving with one suitcase. I'm like, oh yeah, all those clothes, they're all costumes.
Yeah, because I'm like,
one size.
Yeah, and they have a new outfit every day.
And they all match.
It's like, it's not just a bikini, it's something that they're over. And
big old
this, big shoes, everything.
They all look incredible. So yeah, I mean, so they have the costumes. They obviously have free makeup to do their makeup one day by Maybelline. That cracked me up. Like Maybelline took over a whole episode.
Well, dang, I didn't even catch it.
Oh, the announcer goes, yeah, this is exactly how they hold their products in real life. And the people were all holding like Maybelline. And
I did see a lot of like even Coffee Mate or something like that was like a big sponsor of them. But I thought the girls all had to do their makeup. You saw them do it every morning.
Yeah. But I don't think it was their makeup. I think they had makeup to you.
Gotcha. I thought you meant like they provided makeup artists or something. And I was like, oh no. No, but they're actually product about it.
They do have makeup artists there, honestly. But I bet they all tell the girls to do the makeup because that's part of the show.
Yeah.
But I bet they do have them. Because do we see the guys doing their makeup?
Oh,
the guys have makeup.
Yeah.
So, by the way. I mean, they at least have...
That's my whole thing. I feel like the guys just got it so easy to be on there. They just showed up and then said,
yeah.
Well, the girls had to like carry the entire show.
The guys didn't have like face makeup, but they had like, if they had a blemish or something, they would deal with it. Yeah.
Yeah, they still had me.
Yeah. That's right. So, but you're in this intensity of doing a reality show. You're there. You're super intense. You're put together, all in this thing. You're so excited. You've flown Coach to Fiji because I know that's exactly how ABC rolled. And you've flown Coach to Fiji and you're all in this group and you meet these people and you're all so excited to be together, to be the ones chosen to be on this show. You go into this atmosphere. You pretend to just meet each other because they probably met at a dinner or at the airport or in the hotel. But here nor there, we walk into the villa and you're like, oh, hi, hey, great. Oh, so nice to meet you. And then you go from there and you say, then you got to start playing this thing. They were also polite in the beginning. They did finally warm up, which I'm like, thank God, maybe the producers talked to them. But I think once you get into it, you relax. Yeah. And I think that's a big deal. But the other thing is you're there and you always aware of this, the intensity of the cameras, the lights, everything. And then they're telling you America's watching you. They're also telling you executives are watching you. And they're also going over the rushes or the things that come out later. I mean, they give you feedback. If they don't give you feedback like you should do this and that. They hint at things in weird ways, or they set things up like they kept setting competitions and rooms. Anyway, you get a sense of things, and all of that excitement and that raises your intensity, your fight or flight response. When that fight or flight response activates, you don't have to be in a scary situation. You can be in an anxiety-provoking situation, but not where you feel completely afraid. If you're in a panic situation, you're completely afraid. But if you're just in that heightened fight or flight mode, you're actually in the perfect space to meet someone to be attracted to. Oh. And this is really an interesting thing because this is often, when it's gone very wrong, is where trauma bonding comes in. So when we have something really intense that we experience with Sandberg, maybe in true trauma bonding, it's because they did to us. And we want to correct it and go back for more. The very person who's soothing me is the very person who hurt me. So that's probably the more traditional understanding of trauma bonding. But I think also when people experience a traumatic incident together, they also are bonded together. So I do believe it when they say, and I'm sure they do think and will stay in touch, that people are like, I've made friends for the rest of my life. That may not happen, but I'm sure they feel that way because they feel very bonded together. Like, hey, we're in this stoop together. All the producers, all the camera people, everyone else, they're just watching us. We're the ones being studied.
Yeah, they went through the experience together. Yeah, so nobody else will ever be able to experience that. Yeah, with them the way they did.
Right.
Yeah, so it's like a genuine, like one of a kind connection between the group, right?
Yes. So who do you think on the show was kind of trauma bonded together? They were forced to be together. Yeah, some of them look lackluster. I mean, yeah, but some of them look like there was some not positive stuff going on between.
Well, I mean, Chris and Vuda, that just seemed really uncomfortable towards the end, and that finale was the worst uncomfortable thing ever.
I was rooting for him.
Well, no, part of me was like,
But
I could tell he was dealing with difficult situations, and as a gentleman, he came off like the perfect gentleman, and he handled it all so well. But at the same time, in my head, I'm like, would he have handled it differently if he wasn't on national television right now?
So, do you want to just say, because the show's already aired?
Yeah, it's done. It's
Yeah, what happened?
about their final date.
Yeah.
Well, they go on like I think it's the last four couples, and they all go on like a specific date, and Huda and Chris go to like this romantic dinner on like this floating like dance floor platform. Yeah, and he has to carry her onto the platform because he has to walk through the water to get there. And they're having this awkward because they're not in a great space to begin with. So they start talking about all the stuff that's been going kind of wrong with them. And she ends up kind of telling him, well, he kind of is like telling her to tell him that she doesn't like him in that way. I don't know if you noticed that.
No, I got that she doesn't like him. She never seemed sincere to me, especially with him.
I felt like there was moments that they seemed
She
to,
played it.
well, both of them, I guess, but he also had a big problem with her not being affectionate with him in public and only wanting to do stuff under the sheets at night, you know?
That's very avoidant because she wants to keep her options open.
But she wasn't like that with Jeremiah.
Because I think she fell for that because I'm a narcissist. That's.
So it's all these dynamics.
I didn't get that Chris is a narcissist. I get that he's wounded.
Yeah.
And I get that he also has an anxious attachment. And I get that he was so profoundly hurt when he realized she didn't like him, when it was confirmed for him
At that date,
at that day.
when she said she just wanted to be friends.
And it was confirmed for him, and he had to play it cool. But I think he may have done that anyway. I don't know that he did it just for the cameras. I think he iced over. He's one of those people that rather than getting angry, but listening to the table, he shuts down. He iced over. He iced over. And you're right. Maybe he did. Because all of a sudden there's a weird cut and he goes back.
Well, so he's like, I'm not doing this. And he walks away.
Probably the producers pushed him back. Yeah. I'm guessing. I have no idea.
And then, so you know how he carried her onto the platform whenever he goes back?
Yeah.
He's like, are you coming? Or he's like asking her why she's crying and all this stuff. And there's that moment where they're trying to leave and she's like, are you going to help me? And he's like, I'm not carrying you. And she has to literally take off her heels. She goes back and grabs a bottle of champagne and pours herself another glass.
Which I applauded her for.
Honestly, I would have just chugged out of the bottle and was my nipples, you know?
I mean, good for her.
But
hey, she's classy.
Yeah, just more classy. She poured it in glass. But it was one of those like, oh God, just like almost humiliating in a way, or like
as a singer is singing Moon River above.
Oh my God, that was a whole nother thing. They're breaking up and there's a singer just being romantic.
Playing Moon River, two drifters, basically, literally, they're drifting apart. Yeah, no, it was. I think that was actually good reality TV.
It was.
Like I was thinking, okay, that so much of the show to me was very painful to watch. I mean, it was really hard for me to watch because there was so much dead air, so much nothing going on, and I wasn't really invested in these people. I liked them. I mean, like, if they were my friends, I'm sure we would hang out and be nice, but we wouldn't have drama.
So why do you think we got so hooked? Because I understood the dead air part. That was my biggest pet peeve, that I'm like, there's nothing happening. Like, please somebody flip the table or throw, like, alcohol in somebody's face or something, but there was nothing of that sort.
Why did we?
Yeah, like, why did we fall in love with dead air?
I think there's a thing a lot of people told me in reality shows that I think is a reality thing. I mean, so many people told me this. It's such a real thing that reality shows, they see them as their friends that they can just have on. And now, not just on their TV, but on their iPad or on their phone. They can carry it around with them whenever they go. So they feel like these are their friends who are doing things and talking and sort of having relationships that the people don't have to pay super close attention to. And these slow moving shows don't have a lot of action happen until they do. I mean, until something happens. But there's not a lot of action. So you can go and you can do laundry and you can feed the dog and you can do other things at the same time. I think that's one part of the appeal. I think the other is the emotional snowball that happened in society that you talked about, which is it suddenly caught fire somehow. Because last season apparently was very spicy, so I'm sure that got a lot of people talking. And that spicy previous season 6 then rolled into season 7 where everyone's like, okay, I'm going to tune in. I'm tuning in for this, even though it didn't really deliver quite the same way. So, but let me talk about something that I noticed on this show. This is the thing. I'm like, I am changing my thesis. I'm changing my thesis because this show, I was so struck by that they didn't have people who seemed like the brightest bulbs. Is that rude to say? I mean, a couple of the people seemed, and I could say like Sierra. I thought was a smart girl, like instantly. I mean, she came across actually quite intelligent. There were some people who didn't. A lot of people didn't, but that may have been a strategy, and I think that bared itself out with a couple of people. Um, so some contestants lean into simplicity to win popularity contests because complicated people don't win. Complicated, intelligent people don't win. Look at our anti-intellectualism that's actually happening in society right because people look at them and feel inferior. No, I mean, I'm sorry.
No, I know. I
It's
mean,
actually
but
true.
that's crazy.
No. And it's just something I developed while watching this. I don't think I'm alone. I tried to look it up and there were other people that talked about this quite a bit. Um, I think also there's an element of Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude is a German word for taking pleasure in other people's pain. When we see people who don't function as well as us, who have problems, who can't form a sentence as well as us, who can't choose words as well as us, who, we often will feel superior to and like watching that. The other half of that is we identify with them. We saw a lot of people who identified with one of the political candidates because they said he spoke like they did, even though he came from privilege. So I think there's either identification or feeling superior, but no one felt inferior, and that is the joke. Also, simple people who are simple on shows who just give big broad strokes, don't complicate things, don't play the middle. They're easy to edit, and people who are easy to edit wind up in the final edit. Those are the people who get screen time. That's reality. People who they can orchestrate their whole show, but if they're easy to edit, the producers love them, the editors love them. They give them screen time and they become a star.
Yeah, because editing is a big factor into, I think, all reality TV show. The editing is the way they make the story be fed to you in that sense.
Yes.
Because it could be one thing, and just because the way they edit it, it will make it look completely different.
Yes, I've told the story many times, but on my show, my sister was in a scene with me. Um, we, a certain amount of events played out that night. The show was edited together. I don't know, like a year later, she watched the show. Because it came out like a year after we did it. They took so long to edit, but they did clever edit. I'll hand it to them. And she watched the show and she said to me, she called me up upset. She goes, "I didn't know that was happening behind my back. I didn't know that was happening. You did that?" And I'm like, "No, you were there. This is exactly what happened. What?" And I'm like, "We were there. Like I remembered it." And she instead thought stuff had happened that she saw on TV rather than her own experience.
Wow.
And that taught me everything. Because what people see on TV, they see as more real than real will actually happen. Yes.
Because even Huda, she sings, like, there's videos that, like, surface that she has a great voice,
Ah,
but not once do you ever get a hint of that at all, and it's like, you say you'd be, like, just singing along for fun, something. But then I'm like, they must have, like, if there was anything that was too much,
they
they
now,
probably edited.
I will say they never want you to sing. I'll tell you why. Because licensing.
Oh, for sure.
That is it. Because I was like, there were a couple of times we wanted to do certain things with music, and they're like, nope, that will cost us. So, okay. Also, the final one is likability bias. People equate simplicity with sincerity. So they think that, oh, these people are sincere. Like, who won the most sincere on the show, the most genuine? Amaya.
Maya, yeah.
But who did the Islanders give it to?
Was it Shelley?
No, Orlando.
Orlandria. Oh, yeah.
So here proof I watched the show, huh? So
Recently.
well, hey, don't, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just coming with the message. But I did watch it recently. I wouldn't have watched this on my own, and I wouldn't have stuck with it on my own either. It was really it was a hard stick, and I think that these shows are made for different people. This one wasn't made for me. I don't have some of the taste of America, and that's a little bit of a disappointment. But people equate simplicity with sincerity. They think they're being more sincere, and the people in the villa, they all voted for Olandria, who's that statuesque, beautiful black girl, stunning, and she plays dumb in the beginning, but you realize that she goes on. She's no dummy.
No, the entire she even told the end.
No dummy. You're like, oh, you are a little bit more conniving than I ever suspected.
Yeah, because for a
Plays it very well.
for a long time she didn't have like a real guy that she was coupled with, and she was still around. She stayed around single for the longest time, I feel like.
Yeah,
Or to most of the
she did everything well.
Yeah, I mean, and whenever she was in danger, she would like make sure Nick was always around and they were trying to become a couple, you know?
And she ended up winning second place because she knew how to play this game. She was a smart.
But people gave it to her. They were like,
So would never. He was a smart cookie too, but I also thought he was smart from the beginning.
yeah.
So I wasn't surprised by that. She surprised me because she really played it very well. I thought, wow, hats off to her.
Even when there was like conflict or something, you could tell she would just poise herself she knew exactly how to like carry herself.
But the Islanders liked her because of either in person she was playing them, or in person they saw a different person, which could be. Amaya won second place with the Islanders, but first place with America because Amaya was always in tears, constantly talking about her feelings and whatnot. And she charmed America. She won most genuine. She won the show. But but Alandria to America was like fifth down. I mean, she was not seen as sincere because I guess maybe America, that was at least edited, that she had a little bit more different views. So there are differences. That to me was like, oh, that's the edit right there. What happened with Shelley and Ace, them being like, we don't understand why America hates us so much. I'm like, I do. It's the edit. Yeah, the dudes. But you can't say that. They can't say that. They absolutely can't say that it violates their contract. Okay, they would never end up in the ever, by the way.
No, the shot.
So what you see is what you get with people who are simple. It makes contestants feel trustworthy. And overthinking equals manipulative in the eyes of viewers. When you overthink something, then you start to see them as manipulative. So when you have to overthink, you're like, why are they doing that? Instead, you just want to accept it for what it is. More reasons to play dumb. I'll just go through these quickly. How much time do we have, Tommy? Oh my God, that's not enough time. So let me keep going. More reasons to play dumb. Cognitive load in reality TV. Complex people are harder to edit. I already said that. And the comfort factors. Viewers are emotionally exhausted. Simple characters don't challenge them. They like the golden retriever boyfriend. That's what they want. So 3 takeaways from this show. I'm going to give you 3 takeaways. Intensity equals intimate, does not equal intimacy. What you saw on the show was an attempt at intensity. I don't think it always even rose there. But that is, a lot of people take that for intimacy. That's the beginning of a relationship. That's lust. That may be insecurity. That may be limerence. Or here it's competition. Something is putting them there. That's number 1. They don't equal each other. Intensity of relationships don't equal intimacy. Number 2, emotional avoidance is easy to miss. I would call that, like with Huda, I think she was emotionally avoidant. I clocked it, but I think that'd be hard to pick up because you just think she's being cool because she knew how to play too. She was no dummy. I thought she's no dummy, but she's also got some scars. She's got some stuff. But all the people that played cool. That's what I think you had that view of a few characters on there, that they were just playing it cool. And number 3, who you pick reflects your attachment style. So it mirrors real life. So playing out their own attachment patterns. I think we probably did see, or at least we saw the edit portrayed that. Why being boring or is actually the secure relationship. You know who that was for me in this show? Oh, TJ.
And Iris?
Yeah, boring.
Yeah.
Even she, I thought, had a little more spice. But I thought, when I saw him, I'm like, he doesn't belong here. He seems like a well-adjusted, sweet, nice guy. Did you get that from?
He was just boring.
He was flaring
I
because he was a nice guy. He wouldn't make it in the edit
well, but he wasn't doing anything.
because there was nothing to do. Like, he didn't play.
Yeah, he didn't play, so he should have never been on the show.
Bella, the very first girl that got kicked off, she didn't play.
Yeah.
She's like, here, kiss my cheek.
She wanted to be all conservative.
She wanted to be,
and then she gets kicked off. And then you're like, oh,
and then they're like, oh, we'll keep
too late now.
Okay. So, Brian, quick take. We're going to do these quickly. Who's your favorite Islander of the season?
Amaya Papaya.
Oh, yeah,
I love her.
Oh, yeah, she's great. I loved her the minute I saw her, but the minute they introduced her, I actually liked her.
And I told you I didn't from the she first got there. And because Huda was the one that was like pissed off because I think Amaya was interested in Jeremiah when she first got into the house. And because I got clouded through Huda's eyes too. I was like, oh, I don't like this girl. She's too much. And then slowly it just started being like, oh, wait, I do like her.
I thought she was a sweetie. Who drove you insane?
Huda did drive me insane sometimes too.
Drove me because you can tell. I keep talking about her. But she's the Teresa from New Jersey Housewives. She's the one that drives you insane, but you end up talking about her the most. So she actually gets the deals.
That's why I was like,
she's gonna get a cook.
Yeah, they couldn't kick her off. They couldn't get rid of her because without her, there'd be no crazy or drama.
Was there anyone there actually for love?
Oh, honestly, I feel like Amaya has like that pure. She's just like pureness and is there.
It may have been that. Yeah,
that's it.
That may have been true, actually. Do you think any of these couples will last outside the villa?
I'm honestly hoping that Brian doesn't mess it up and like is truly wanting to explore, like keep stuff with Amaya. But honestly, Amaya is really beautiful that she's kind of out of his league.
She's really beautiful. He kept saying over and over, he's tall, dark, and handsome. And I'm like, dude, stop saying that. It makes you very unattractive. I'm like, people that are tall, dark, and handsome never say that themselves. I just love that they kept coming up with their own narratives about themselves. Someone must have told them, say these things, or I don't know, but they kept like repeating narratives about themselves. So maybe a producer said, you are, and it sort of sunk in. Their own narcissism took over. Okay, who is the most emotionally intelligent person in the villain?
Oh, I would want to say Shelly, because even when Huda was trying to have a conversation with her about why she would like, because Huda made her really upset on one of the challenges. Yeah. Shelly was like, I just don't want to talk right now. Like, we can talk another time, another day, but I don't. And it's smart because that's when you do snap, when you say shit you don't want to say or me, later on. So for me, I thought she regulated herself well.
Yeah, I agree with that. Were there any trauma bonds? Oh, that's here. They're all trauma bonds.
Yeah.
Okay, who's playing dumb as a strategy? Who played
dumb? Oh, Laundria. I would say yeah.
And emotionally healthy, I said TJ was my choice for that. Who is the most delusional?
Delusional.
Thought they were all that, but they weren't. Because I'll have to agree with you. Like, people are like, these are insanely attractive people. I'm like, they are mostly attractive people.
No,
I mean, yeah.
Not even for me. The Charlie, the boy, the British guy or something. I don't know if you saw him.
The first one.
The first bombshell.
Yeah.
He
looked a little Frankenstein. What, is that bad for me?
No, oh no. There was just nothing. I mean, his accent was probably like
this is bad for a psychologist to be talking, but you go on a reality show, people make fun of you. I mean, and that's just reality. And you have to welcome it. I was made fun of on Talk Soup. They made fun of me. They went over a scene with me and made fun of me. And you know what I was like? At first I was offended and I thought, how wonderful, I'm on Talk Soup. So that's okay. I mean, I put myself out there and I basically said that's the edit. Like they're talking about what the show was, not what I.
Yeah, for me, it's just casting, whoever's doing the casting, like, you can't have meh kinda guys with, like, beautiful, hot girls, like, they should have done better and had, like, real hot guys that, like, because a lot of girls are watching this. The girls in the gate,
I think
they're watching it.
I think they've had trouble in the past because they accidentally cast gay men in the past,
Oh,
and that there's that, and I think also they've had people in the past who've offed themselves, who unalived or whatever the term is kids use these days themselves. There were 3 different people who did that after the show because they were treated so poorly by people on the street. So I think that we have to look critically at looks from.
and I don't know if you noticed that the host, Ariana, would through the airing of the show, they would have to post things on, like, social media, like, "Hey, you guys have to chill out. These are normal, real people, and you can't keep, like, commenting on their stuff or, like, threatening them," like, because it was happening while the show was
Yeah,
airing.
no, it's true. And who's most likely to ghost their partner in real life after the finale? Photo. That's always the answer.
I was scared for her that she would be one of the ones that, you know, after the show. Moving on.
So
But, I mean, the way you explained, I'm like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense."
I think this is who she is. She's got emotional instability, but she is smart girl. Yeah, I think she's actually. I'm like, you're no dummy. I'm sorry. No, I wouldn't. And then you're not 24. So invite. Which Islanders felt stage or meal? I'll forget that. Okay. Well, you know what? If you guys have things, let's know. Who do you? Who do? What relationships do you felt real? What relationships do you felt staged? Reflect on your own attachment styles. Are you secure, anxious? Are you avoidant, or are you one of that disorganized type where it's all over the place, just a disorganized mess? Um, what kinds of patterns did you see? What did you see in this? That would be a good thing. And tell Brian you know,
I would
he can get help. He can get help for his Love Island addiction.
oh god.
And we'll be talking when it comes to season 8 because I know that you'll be watching.
Maybe I'll get on season 8.
Maybe I'll actually watch it in the time. Okay, so thanks for joining me on joining Brian and myself and Tony on the board for Off the Couch. If you saw yourself in any of today's patterns or you took offense at things I said, because I was a little bit unquote today, I have to say. But when you watch a reality show for nearly 24 hours straight, probably more than that, it's a mess. Let me just tell you, it's not good. So take a breath. You're not broken. You're just human and swim on. Remember, insight's the first step, but action's what moves the needle. That's why we call it off the couch, because you got to get off the couch and do the actions. So whether it's breaking a pattern, reaching out to someone new, or simply being kinder to yourself, that's the real work you want to do. And if you want to share, if you enjoyed today's episode, please share it with a friend. Don't forget to rate, review, follow Off the Couch with Dr. Greg on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Links, there are actual studies I put around Hypercup. There were actual academic studies. I didn't even go into them. Actual academic studies about Love Island. I'm not kidding you. Like someone probably some graduate students, I'm telling it's graduate school stuff.
I would do it.
Student looked at this and published an article on Love Island, a couple of them. Go ahead and look at my youtube.com page /Dr. Greg. Also, I have a handout. I'm going to put on that handout. I've put it together, but I'll put the 5 obsession questions. I also have 10 questions to see if you would survive on Love Island. That I put a quiz together. It was too messy and long to do on the show, but 10 questions to see if you would survive on Love Island, as well as my 3 main takeaways, what we learned on the show today about Love Island. Until next time, keep questioning the patterns and don't settle for what you don't deserve. Don't settle for that heightened feeling of being under the lights and say that that's chemistry and that's what leads you together with a person. Do the real work when you're in a relationship. Hit us up on socials at Ask Dr. Greg. This is Dr. Greg, Brian, and Tony bidding you farewell. Until next time, be present, be flexible, and be kind.